Hey basketball fans, welcome back to the Six Netminders. The first week of the 2024 NBA season is in the books, and it's been a roller coaster. We've seen rookies balling out, veterans showing they still got it, and some teams needing to go back to the drawing board. We're talking blown leads, clutch performances, and enough drama to make even the biggest soap opera jealous. But that's why we love this game, right? Every game, every possession, every bucket matters. So sit back, buckle up, and get ready for my unfiltered takes on the biggest storylines of the young NBA season. The Atlanta Hawks came into this season with playoff aspirations, but right now, they look like they're headed straight for the lottery. The defense is softer than a baby's bottom, and Trae Young, he's shooting the ball like he's got butter on his hands. They gotta figure out a way to get stops on one end and put the ball in the basket on the other. If the Hawks want to compete in the East, they gotta toughen up on defense and find some consistency on offense. Now let's talk about the Boston Celtics. Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday are fitting in like a glove. Tatum and Brown look hungry for another ring. This Celtics team is deep, talented, and coached by one of the best in the business. They're playing with a sense of urgency and purpose that's scary. If they can stay healthy, watch out. The Boston Celtics are coming for that title. Alright, let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets. They traded away all their stars, but Cam Thomas is the real deal. This kid can flat out score the basketball. They're a young team trying to find their identity, but with Cam Thomas leading the way, they got a chance to be something special. He's the type of player you can build a franchise around. The Brooklyn Nets may have lost some star power, but they got a future star in Cam Thomas. The Charlotte Hornets, they're an interesting team. They got a lot of young talent, LaMelo Ball, Brandon Miller. These kids got potential. But there's one big if hanging over this team: health. LaMelo's got to stay on the court. When he's healthy, he's a walking triple-double. But when he's hurt, the Hornets struggle. If they can stay healthy, the Hornets could be a dangerous team. The Chicago Bulls, they're like that car that's been sitting in the garage for years gathering dust. They got all the parts, but they just can't seem to get it running. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, these are good players. But they're missing something, and that something is Lonzo Ball. Without him, they're just a collection of talent that doesn't quite fit. The Cleveland Cavaliers, they're a team I got my eye on. Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. This team is loaded with talent. They're gonna be a tough out in the East, I'm telling you. Now they're still a little inconsistent, they got some things to figure out. But the potential is there, folks, it's undeniable. Let's talk about the Detroit Pistons. This young man, Cade Cunningham, he's a special talent. He's got the size, the skills, the basketball IQ, everything you look for in a franchise player. And with Jaden Ivey by his side, they got a dynamic duo that's only going to get better. With Cade Cunningham leading the way, the future is bright in Detroit. Now, the Indiana Pacers, they're going to be fun to watch. Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mather, and Miles Turner, they're going to put up points in a hurry. But here's the thing, defense wins championships, and right now the Pacers, they're not playing a lick of defense. They got to figure out how to get stops if they want to be taken seriously. The Miami Heat, they're like that aging boxer who refuses to hang up the gloves. Jimmy Butler, he's still a dog, but he can't do it all by himself. Bam Adebayo, he's a beast on both ends of the court, but they need more from their supporting cast. Where's the Tyler Herro from last year? They need him to step up and be that third scorer. They gotta find a way to rekindle that fire, that intensity that made them contenders. Now the Milwaukee Bucks, they made the biggest splash of the offseason, bringing in Damian Lillard to team up with Giannis Antetokounmpo. This is a championship or bust team, folks. They got two of the best players in the world, and they're surrounded by a solid supporting cast, but they gotta stay healthy. Giannis, he's a force of nature, but he can't do it all by himself. If they can stay healthy, the Bucks are the team to beat in the East. The New York Knicks, they're making noise in the East. And you know who's leading the charge? That's right, Cat and Jalen Brunson. Cat is playing like the MVP candidate he is, and Brunson is the perfect complement to him. They're playing with a swagger, a confidence that we haven't seen from the Knicks in years. Now the Orlando Magic, they're a team on the rise. Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, these young fellas are the real deal. Banchero, he's got that it factor. Wagner, he's a smooth operator. He can score at all three levels, and he's a tough defender. And they got a bunch of other young players who are hungry to prove themselves. The future is bright for this young team. The Philadelphia 76ers, they're like a soap opera, folks. More drama than a Shakespearean tragedy. James Harden wants out, Joel Embiid is hurt again, and Tyrese Maxey is carrying the team on his back. The Toronto Raptors, they're a tough team to figure out. They got a lot of good players, but they don't have that one superstar who can take over a game. They need someone to step up and be that alpha dog, that closer. The Washington Wizards, they're like that friend who always wants to go out and party, but never wants to do any work. They love to score points, but they hate to play defense. Jordan Poole, Kyle Kuzma, they can fill it up, but they're liabilities on the other end of the court. Defense wins championships, folks. The Dallas Mavericks, they're the most entertaining team in the league. Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, they're like a two-man highlight reel. But can they play defense? Because if they can't, they're not going to win a championship. The Denver Nuggets, they're the defending champions, and they're still the team to beat in the West. Nikola Jokic, he's the best player in the world, and he's showing no signs of slowing down. The Nuggets are deep, they're experienced, and they're hungry for another ring. The Golden State Warriors, they're not the dynasty they once were, but they're still a dangerous team. Steph Curry, he's still got it, folks. He can still light it up from anywhere on the court. Can Steph Curry carry this team to another championship? It's a long shot, but you can never count out the heart of a champion. The Houston Rockets, they're a team of the future. Jalen Green, Jabari Smith Jr., Alperen Sengun, they're all loaded with potential. The future is bright in Houston. The LA Clippers, they're still waiting for Kawhi Leonard to return from injury. Until then, they're going to have to rely on Paul George and a bunch of role players. They need Kawhi back if they want to contend for a championship. The Los Angeles Lakers, they're still led by LeBron James, but Father Time is undefeated. LeBron is still one of the best players in the world, but he's not the unstoppable force he once was. The Lakers are hoping to make one last run at a championship, but they're running out of time. The Memphis Grizzlies, they're without Ja Morant for the first 25 games of the season, but they're not going to use that as an excuse. Desmond Bane, he's ready to take the next step and be a star in this league. The Grizzlies are going to be just fine without Ja. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they made a big splash last season by trading for Rudy Gobert, but it didn't translate to wins. Karl Anthony Towns, he's one of the most talented big men in the league. Can they put it all together this season? Only time will tell. The New Orleans Pelicans, they're a team with a lot of potential, but it all hinges on the health of Zion Williamson. When he's healthy, he's one of the most dominant players in the league. The Pelicans are a dangerous team when healthy, but Zion's health is a major question mark. The Oklahoma City Thunder, they're one of the youngest teams in the league, but they're also one of the most exciting. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's a budding superstar who can do it all. Josh Giddey, he's a triple-double machine who makes everyone around him better. The Thunder are a team on the rise, and they're only going to get better. The Phoenix Suns, they're still trying to figure out how to make the Kevin Durant trade work. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, they're all dynamic scorers. But can they all coexist? They need to figure out how to share the ball and play together if they want to win a championship. The Portland Trail Blazers, they're rebuilding around Scoot Henderson. Henderson, he's one of the most exciting young players in the league. The Trailblazers are going to be a fun team to watch, even if they're not winning a lot of games this season. The Sacramento Kings, they're back in the playoffs for the first time in 17 years. De'Aaron Fox, he's one of the fastest players in the league. The Kings are a fun, exciting team that's going to make some noise in the playoffs. The San Antonio Spurs, they're all about Victor Wembanyama. Wembanyama, he's the most hyped prospect since LeBron James. The Spurs are going to be must-see TV because of Wembanyama. The Utah Jazz, they traded away their two best players in Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, but they're not calling it a rebuild. Lauri Markkanen, he's a versatile big man who can score inside and out. The Jazz may not be contenders, but they're going to be a tough out for any team. And there you have it, folks. The first week of the 2024 NBA season is in the books, and it did not disappoint. The NBA is back, baby, and it's better than ever. We got rivalries reignited, young stars emerging, and enough storylines to keep us talking all season long, so make sure you subscribe to the 6 Netminders for more NBA coverage all season long. We'll be back next week with more, but until then, keep it locked right here on the 6